Hi guys, I'm Daddy Freeze, convener of the Free the Sheeple movement and leader of the Free Nation in Christ. I greet you and I bring glad tidings. I'm going to be on for at least 1 hour. So I'm going to go in and out of topic. For those of you who don't have data, you might want to log off now, because I'm going to be addressing so many things in the news, back and forth. I'll be going round and round. And of course, I'm going to address the topic. It's a very important topic. But do not think I'm going to rush into the topic. If you think I'm going to rush into the topic, you'll be disappointed and your data might finish. So log out so as to preserve your data. And anytime you have data in the future, you can watch the playback at your convenience. Daniela Makun, how are you doing? I like to start first of all with a big shout out to Aman Awards and the president of Aman Awards, Mavin Grandpa, who was 71 yesterday. I was honored with an award yesterday, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate the effort of the music managers in Nigeria and the amazing job they've done. Secondly, buy direct from USA.com. Don't ever forget about that. If you need anything from the USA, right now I was looking at one of my watches. The strap isn't looking too good. I need a new strap. I'm going to order from the US. Buy direct from USA.com. Do check them out. You can get your cars, you could get your car parts, you could get your accessories, you could get anything you want to from the USA delivered to your house in Nigeria. Buy direct from USA.com. Check them out. Clothes, shoes, accessories, phones, electronics, cars, car parts, everything. Buy direct from USA.com. Just type it in your browser, buy direct from USA.com, and see what pops up. Good. So quite a lot going on. Yesterday I was alarmed. A lot of you don't know, but I'm a simulator pilot. Means I have a little simulator in my house that simulates an aircraft, and I fly a 737-800. I haven't flown in like 6 months. I think I did one flight. Before I used to do 2 flights a day. But I've been so busy trying to run a church, trying to attend to you people, trying to work, so I don't have to come and be yahooing you people and collecting your money through prayers and all that. So I've not really had time to fly. But I saw an amazing caption online yesterday. And I was like, oh boy, now wow, Nigeria on another level. I saw a plane, according to, let me get you the story. A plane that was supposed to go to Abuja found itself in Asaba. And it's not just that the plane found itself in Asaba, it's the way it was related. Listen to this. Nigeria, my country, according to somebody called Dawisu, we departed Lagos about an hour ago on Fly United NG to Abuja. And upon arrival, the cabin crew confidently announced that we've arrived Abuja, only for us to realize that we landed in Asaba. Apparently, our pilot was given the wrong flight plan from Lagos. I was bewildered. I called 2 different pilots that I know. And I was like, how person they take wrong flight plan? Because the first thing you do when you sit in your airplane is to configure your flight plan. There are things in aviation called SIDS and stars. When you are programming your SIDS and stars, you are programming one out of the airport you are flying out of, and you are programming the other one into the airport you are flying into. and you are using the legs along the way, and then you remove the discontinuity, and there's your flight plan. Listen, a lot of people think pilots fly plane like this, like car. No. The moment you take off, make your first turn at about 400 feet, depending on the airport. Once you get to about 1,000 feet, 1,200 feet, you clean up the aircraft, you are on autopilot till you are on short final. In fact, you're on autopilot till about, some people remove autopilot at 200 feet. When I'm really lazy, I don't want to be struggling with wind, I just leave it till 200 feet and then remove the autopilot at 200 feet when I'm almost landing. Literally, the plane will take you to where you are going, turn and face the airport. All you need to do is get on the localizer, which is still automatic. From the localizer, you get on the glide. Once you're on the glide, you just follow the glide. The glide will even control your speed. You literally just follow the glide to the ground. Just make sure once you're on the localizer, you have configured your flaps, your gear, your speed, everything. Once you get on the glide will even control the plane for you till you get to the ground. So how do you configure Abuja and land in Asaba? If you know anything about aviation, you know that Abuja is north, Asaba is southeast. You fly from Lagos over Ibadan, I think Ilorin, along that route to Abuja. And I thought about it, and what came to my mind was the Nigerian anyhowness. When you take off from Lagos and you are going to Abuja, you must have an alternative route unless the control tower will not approve your flight plan. And usually, contingency for Abuja is Kano. So how do you fly and have bad weather and fly somewhere else? So I was reading a story that they were saying it's bad weather. I'm sorry, I might not have my pilot license, but I understand a bit of aviation. There is no way you can be flying from Lagos to Abuja and then you branch in Asaba because the weather was bad. It's a bit off for me. So I called pilots and everybody was, I swear to God, this is the first time I'm calling pilots and everybody was like, this thing don't mean, nobody could understand it. So one of my friends, big shout out to him, he's a captain. He owns Norma Suya. We got into a conversation and he seemed to make a lot of sense. He said, these planes are what you call wet leases, flown by foreign, pilots and cabin crew. They just wet lease the plane with the crew. And sometimes they don't understand Nigeria. Asaba can sound like Abuja. It might sound ridiculous to me and you, but to somebody who speaks Japanese or somebody who speaks Spanish, Abuja, Asaba, Abuja can sound, similar. But you see, there is still a lot of discontinuity and the showcasing of Nigerianness. And I need to give a big shout out to Festus Keyamo, our able Minister of Aviation, who threw light on it. And I'm going to just quickly touch on this because I was like, wow, finally, now I understand what happened. I'm looking for his report. Finally, now I understand what happened. So according to him, where is this thing that I was reading just now? Boy, when they post plenty for this Instagram. Now, something with in my front. Don't disappear. Anyway, he said things along the line of, hold on, let me just Google it because it has disappeared. I'm just going to Google Festus Keyamo United Air. Okay, this is him summoning, but he gave a brief on it. And I was like, wow, thank God we have capable people in this country that actually, so what he said just put everything to rest. Sadly, I can't find the story anymore. But he did speak about wet leases. He did reassure the people. And of course, I know that my lovely brothers in United, are not going to be very happy right now, because me personally, I will not be leaving Lagos to go to Abuja and find myself in Abuja and be pleased. I cannot be very pleased though. I cannot be pleased at all. So I thank God that that is being taken into consideration. And I'm trying to look for the story while I'm just talking on and on. If I don't find the story, I guess I'll just leave it at that. I'll look for it. Maybe somebody can forward it to me. If you find the story of his report, his breakdown on the incident. Okay, no, this is still. Where did I just read this thing? No. Oh boy, now if you are watching me live, forward it to me, please. Forward it to me, please. So let us now come to today's topic. Nollywood actor and Nollywood. I'll tell you why I spoke about this aviation thing, just so you understand Nigerian anyhowness. So we have an actor and an actress. Sorry, forgive me. I'm from the era where men were actors and women were actresses. I don't understand the whole actor. To me, actor, actress, make una no vex. The story I'm telling you is different from the topic. I don't tell you, say, I go talk plenty, log out. If you not get data, dataless people, log out. I don't want, it's the first thing I said when I came live. Log out. If you don't like the topic, if you don't like how I'm going to go about this and get to the topic, log out. If you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen, double click the screen, double click the screen. Follow my #1 gifter on TikTok. Big shout out to the first person who pops my money gun. I don't want you say today na plenty talk, so log out. It's not going to be fight. So, like I was saying earlier on before I was interrupted, the battle was about good English between actor Bigvai, Jokotove, and Bimbo, Ademove. And in this particular regard, even though the gentleman Jokotove does have a point, I tend to agree more with Bimbo. And here is why. Bimbo corrected some people. She said, I mean no disrespect whatsoever. I am nowhere near perfect when it comes to speaking English. But please, dear women, it is I am pregnant with my daughter or son, not for my daughter. You dey carry your pikin belle, no be your pikin give you belle. So when narrating, use with I was pregnant with, not for. Bigvai now went on to say Indians, Mexicans, Filipinos, Chinese all speak bad English, even in English countries. But we Africans think we must speak English more than the English people. Understanding no matter. Lori ade elede. Elede, lori ade, elede. I don't understand that part of your Bible, because elede and elede are two sound alike and they might be two different things. But you see, here's where I disagree with Bigvai. He said Indians, Mexicans, Chinese all speak bad English. You know why Nigerians cannot afford to speak bad English? Let me break it down to you. Your physics textbook is written in English. The Indian's man's physics textbook is not written in English, it's in his language. The Chinese man's physics textbook is written in Mandarin. The Filipinos' English textbook, the Russians' English textbook, the physics textbook, they are all written in Russian. My father went to Romania to study medicine. He studied medicine in Romanian language. He first had to do anul pregătitor, that is 1 year of preparing for school, and in that year he learned the Romanian language. My father wrote exam in Romanian language. He graduated in Romanian language. He finished from university in Romania in Romanian language. Your degree in Nigeria was in English. You cannot not know how to speak English. You can't compare yourself to Chinese. Oh. You cannot compare yourself to Russians and Mexicans. Oh. English. I studied sociology in the university. I studied it in English, not in Yoruba, not in Edo, not in Efik or Ibibio, not in Igbo language. You cannot tell people who went to university or polytechnic in Nigeria and studied in English that they cannot know that English. Knowing English is not important. No. I totally disagree with you, brother. You might have a point. And yes, liberating Black Africa from the shackles of colonialism and how do I put it? Neo-colonialism are very important, but you cannot start with not understanding properly. Let me tell you, the lack of English language is why many of you do not know what's written in that Bible. Somebody said it shouldn't be that important, though it is. Your chemistry textbook is written in what language? Your children are going to school. They are studying chemistry. They are studying biology. What language are they studying the chemistry and the biology? You can only make that statement for a nation that has broken free from the shackles of colonialism and neo-colonialism. And it doesn't start with the language. You cannot be worshiping their version of God and then you say you don't want to talk about their language. Jesus is not a Hebrew word. It's an English word. A coined English word. As a matter of fact, J did not even exist in English until 400 years ago. They don't have J in English. So you copy Jesus from the English people. Your God is from the British people. Then all of a sudden now the English language is not important. I totally disagree. Start by teaching subjects in university, in secondary school, in your traditional language first. So that without English language, you guys can hold something. Everything you do is in English. Try me and write a letter to your bank saying you want to borrow money in Yoruba and see whether they will answer you. At best, they will look for an interpreter to you. Somebody say English is only as important as you make it. We need to face English out. Face it out by all means. But you cannot speak bad English after going to university in English. It makes you sound incompetent. I went to university and studied English, and I did English even in the university. How can I now say I'm speaking bad English like the Chinese man that went to university in Mandarin and learned Chinese for 6 months so he can communicate with English people? You are comparing yourself to him. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. You can't compare yourself with the Filipino that did university, did masters in his language. But because he wants to come and work abroad, he now learned Tatata English. Hello, how are you? I greet you. I want to buy bread. Please, where do you go to the toilet? And those are the kind of things that he learned in 6 months. So he can come and live there. Then he'll be picking his words. I go bathroom, eat. You can't compare. You now from primary school. They don't teach you English. And let me tell you something, you people are very, very unserious. When I want cost person, I the cost person for Yoruba, as I be cost for English, but you see, the what say they call them community guidelines for all these our social media platforms, they sabi English course. So that's why they change them to Yoruba. When I start to cost for Yoruba, people go to type say speak English, we can't hear you, speak English, we can't hear you. So you guys don't even know where you are going or where you are coming from. You meet a Chinese man, he learned in Mandarin. A Chinese doctor learned medicine in Mandarin. A Russian, all my father's friends that went to Russia to study medicine all came back with Russian wives. Why? That first year is the only 1 year you are allowed to use to learn the language. And the easiest way to learn the language was to get a girlfriend. Before you know a girlfriend, when you get to teach you language, you don't give them belly. Before you know her, she don't born for you. Now, so it happened to many of the people who go abroad. Now, why they come back with wife? Inside where to learn their language. Because anybody in the 70s or 80s that went to university in Germany, somebody said, Cap, Oriba Bayoda. Rote 20. Oriba Bayoda. Let me translate it. Your father's head is bad. Oriba Be Buru. Let me translate it for you. Your father's head is even worse. Oh, therefore, job abaye. You use head resemble that your same papa. Oya gbarapcho lori buruku. Chada no weri. Block you lori buruku down. Okponu. Please, can I continue to the rest of with the rest of it that have sense? Sorry, guys. My phone was ringing. I'm trying to. So, I don't know if you can relate to what I'm saying. You cannot. Please, sir, are we an English country? They shouldn't ask for English test from us. Ah, man, now wow. Now wow. Ijo olemato lopolo bayi. Which year are you going to have the sense? So here's that's my point. Let me bring in a few people and then continue with the conversation. I need to bring someone. Okay, Let me hear from Natural Gambia. Let me hear from you. Natural Gambia, let me hear from you. How are you doing? What is your take? Now, no one put your mouth on intellectual topic now. If not gossip, everywhere go fool.
Yes, I did bathroom.
You did bathroom. You don't bath finish.
No, not be like that. I did come. Sorry, sir. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm fine. No, I'm fine. Hey, you say intellectual. Where's my camera? This way. Good evening, boss. I can't see you, but I can hear you.
I can't even see you.
So you're talking about English language. I did come. I'm just going back to my room so I can talk to you.
Your hair is fine, though. You look good.
Do I? I don't feel it so. I don't feel it at all. Yeah. Cold is too much now. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, my darling sister. So go ahead.
So, dear, what was the question? What did you ask me?
English. How important is it for Nigerians to be able to speak English well? Because two actors are arguing over this, and a gentleman called Bigvai Jokotove said English is not important, that even Filipinos and Chinese speak bad English, in response to Bimbo Ademove, who was trying to correct certain grammatical errors. So what is your stance in this matter?
Well, English is important for us. That's the truth. As Nigerians, we already know we're colonized by the British. I know we'll say the other countries were colonized by the British as well. But their own, the way they've run their country, the way they've taken back or reclaimed a lot of their identity, their culture, language is part of culture. The way they've done that, we haven't done that. These other countries that were colonized, even the Indians, to a large extent, they really use their language in national, how will I put it? There's a way I want to describe it. It's, there's unification as well. We don't have that. We have so many tribes, so many, obviously, languages, so many tribes, so many dialects, there's so much going on with us. We're just an amazing group of people. Or, we have a challenge. We have a strength, but it's also our challenge. Our challenge is, if you're going to say, okay, fine, let us try and emulate what those countries are doing by reclaiming our own language, that aspect of culture. What language are you going to speak nationally? How are you going to address the people? And I say the people, I mean everybody. If the president stands up today, what language is he going to use? That my grandma, God rest her soul, if she was in the village over there, or his grandfather over there, will understand, as well as the young man in Lagos and the young lady in Abuja. How are you going to do it? You need to understand that those countries have been able to reclaim a lot of it, and they have put in policies. Their governments have put in policies that means that their books, many of their books, even their Bibles or whatever it might be, even dictionaries, has been translated into their own local languages. They have done that. Their music is in their languages. On the radio, you listen to them and you're hearing their language. For example, you hear Mandarin from their radio stations. You hear Hindu from their radio stations. And a vast majority of the population speak that language. Absolute majority speak that language. So you can see them stand up and speak in that language. Whereas you and I, If you come and speak in Urobo, my president starts speaking in Urobo, I go vex. So I don't understand it. You need to speak what I understand. And the Yoruba man will say, excuse me, what is going on here? I can't understand you. So how are you going to do it? English language, we cannot escape it. And I know how it might hurt. I'd like to think that also it would be great if we could speak one language. But I also peculiarities of Nigeria as a nation, and I don't know where you're going to begin. So English language is our reality. It is what we speak in. That's the one. Except you want us to go for a pidgin. You want to start speaking pidgin English? The president will stand up and start speaking pidgin English to all of us. What are you going to do? What language are you going to use? So we can do it, but it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of effort. And the strategy is going to be phenomenal because you have to bring everybody together. They have to agree. And then you have to start to unify yourselves when it comes to language. And we choose one. Like how the, I think it's the people of Rwanda might be doing that. Am I correct? I think it's Rwanda. You know, what they decide that, you know what, based on, obviously, it's a trauma response, God bless them. However, they've decided that with their history and what's happened to them, they've seen the benefits of being just one. So you will be a very rude person to speak to a Rwandan, if that's how they refer to themselves, and tell them about tribes. They don't want to hear it. It's deeply offensive to them. Please never make that mistake with somebody from Rwanda. Never talk about tribe. They are one. And they've done that in such a way. They continue to do that because they found the benefit for them, obviously for the peculiarity of their own history and what's happened to them.
Let me ask you a question.
So,
let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Not you necessarily.
Yes.
Those of you saying English is not important. You see, when you are not together as a people, you are going to have to accept whatever your colonial masters handed over to you. The only way you can actually have this averted is by actually coming together as a people. Because Urobo man no go gree say Igbo na national language. And Igbo man no go gree say Yoruba na be national language. And Hausa man no go gree say Efik or Fulani na national language. Everybody wants to speak their personal language.
Exactly.
And whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, that is our biggest problem. And that you can now not, and I'm sorry, but you go school and study English for university, you can't talk say you know sabi English. Now nonsense talk.
I think it's people's pride. You know, if someone steps on your ego, you know how it is now. You don't want to look bad out there. It's not easy to get yabbed online where everyone can see you, mock you, laugh at you, you know. So it really is pride because at the end of the day, of course, I might understand your message and what you said, but depending on how maybe how I read the room or how I feel, I might try to correct your grammar as respectfully as I can. Some people will still take offense. And sometimes I just ignore because I already understood what you're trying to say. And I understand that not all of us have the same, strength. You know, our linguistic prowess is not the same. For me, my mom, God bless her soul, she gave us that gift. Because that was her field. That's what she did, her PhD, everything. And she took it very personal that the two subjects she will allow you, that she will never permit you to not get an A in was English and literature in English, and you will get a beating. So you can come back with rubbish maths, you can come back with rubbish biology.
Somebody saying let pidgin English.
But you see English and literature in English.
Somebody saying let pidgin be our national language. Pidgin is what again?
What do you think pidgin is? Define what pidgin. You know what
pidgin is? Still English. Butchered English. How can a whole country, 250 million people, decide that English that they caught is what they want to use as their own language? What happened to your national languages? Now, because now no day together. I think
pidgin is sweet.
What I think they should do is they should create a language for Nigerians. Maybe call it Wazobia. They should set the template. Get linguists. They will pick words from Yoruba. They will pick words from Hausa. They will pick words from Igbo. They will pick words from Efik.
Let me even tell you, Seb. I think that one is even yes, that's interesting. But I tell you what I've always thought of is the Eastern African actually. You know, their what's it called? So the Rwanda say Kiswahili. Swahili, that's it. I wish they could get one African language and then start to teach everyone, the regions in Africa, everyone should know that language. So that when we go, for example, I went to Rwanda and I couldn't speak their language. And the man kept asking me, because I think that is Kiswahili. Please, I beg your pardon if I get it wrong. But then the guy said, can you speak this? I said, no. Can you speak? He said, no. He went, oh, can you speak Swahili? I said, no, my brother, I'm Nigerian. I'm so sorry. And the conversation ended there. But I really wanted to talk to him. And he felt like, oh, there's one that he knows that the Eastern region, the Eastern Bloc do speak, and that's Swahili. And the language is sweet anyway, it's beautiful. And I wish we could take a language in Africa and decide that this is the one everyone should learn. So have it next to whatever else. Just like how I can speak my father's language. I keep saying my mother, excuse me, please. But my father's tongue, I can speak that, but I can also speak English. And I can pick up other things. So you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, as many as you wish. But when we travel, when we go to Ghana, when we go to Kenya, when we go to Gambia, let there be one language we can all speak in. I would love that.
100%. And we can create it. We can get linguists to start teaching it, to come together and create a language. They created a language for Game of Thrones. Yes,
it's true.
They created a language for
and that
Game
was
of
amazing,
Thrones.
wasn't it?
What was that language called again?
I don't forget.
Valdorian or something like that.
I forgot.
And people could actually speak it.
But they did actually. Yes, people studied it. So actually, we could begin now. We might not be able to reap the benefits. We might not.
Someone said making a language to create. Yes. Listen, I am not with the idiocy of speaking bad English because English is not my language. That's foolishness.
No.
We are going to get out of this English 50 years from now. Any step we take today is either going to take us out of this problem or sink us further into this problem. Pidgin is not our language. It's still English. Pidgin is English. You cannot do away with the colonizers and still hold on to your ideology or their language.
There's a thread. There's a lot of sentiments with it. I know, I can understand the emotion, the sentiments coming.
Major tribes in Nigeria. We have Hausa,
we don't want to follow
Hausa, we have Yoruba, we have Igbo. We have Fulani, we have Efik. Out of these languages,
we have so many languages.
We should take we cannot take everybody's language. It is impossible. That's one of the reasons why we are divided. We must create one language for all of us to speak. We cannot take everybody's language, every single person. Because if you go to Igbo is different from Anambra Igbo.
Even my Igbo is different from... If I start speaking at Igbo, man will start laughing.
So,
So,
at the end of the day, what we are looking at is... Someone said they are not tribes, they are nations of people. That's the problem. Valerian, that's it. That's the language, Valerian. That's the problem.
Oh, yeah.
We don't see ourselves in Africa as one. We see ourselves based... Let me tell you, to solve Africa's problem, me, Daddy Freeze, if I became a dictator, I can never change this country as a democratic president. It's impossible. The only way is a dictator that is ready to dictate. One, abolish local government completely. Nobody has any local government. There will be local governments, but you belong to the local government you are born in. If you be Yoruba and they born you for Kano, you be Kano.
Thank you. Thank
If you have
you.
3 children, you born one for Ilorin, born one for Anambra, and born one for Maiduguri, your 3 children are from 3 different places. This is the only way to bring unity to our people. We're too
divided. Abolish tribes while you eat it. Copy the Rwandans.
Someone said in Jamaica they speak Patois. It's still broken English. It's still yeah. We want our own language. Yoruba is not English. French, Igbo is not English. Hausa is not English. That's what we want. We don't want a broken, as in, it's like version. The colonial masters. You have collected the goat from the colonial masters, but he's still holding the rope. Who really has the goat? You have collected, you hold the goat, but you hold the rope. Now, person will hold rope, now you get goat too. Unless you can cut the rope. And you are not ready in any way or form to cut this rope until you are truly ready to do away with their language ideologies.
Yeah. But you see why the nations that are able to evolve and create new things and, just do so many wonderful things, is because they've sorted out the basics. They've conquered hunger, they've conquered the basic food and shelter, health. They've done all that to a certain degree. Then they now have time, peace of mind to use this thing that God gave them. They're now using the brain to think and strategize and call all the intelligent minds to come together to do new things. So we have such a long, I feel like, I might be, and I hope I'm wrong, I feel like we have such a long way to go because there's so many other things we haven't done. How do we begin to start to abolish tribes, abolish some of these things that we have that we insist we're all individuals? How do we begin to do that when somebody is absolutely dying from hunger? Like there are people now, like I've just had my meal now for this evening. I've just had my early dinner. But then there's somebody who has not eaten at all today, and they're certain they will not eat. They will go to bed, wake up tomorrow and try again. How can we begin to even start to talk about these other things? We have a lot to do. But fine, it's nice to talk about it because maybe somewhere somebody is listening and they will start to think about somebody in power or someone who has the ability. And one day, maybe in the academic field, they might come together and the professors will start to think, why don't we begin to do this? I want to put my name down for all posterity. I want my name penned down there to say that I was one of the people who came together to create this new language for Nigeria. So maybe people should take that as a challenge. Let that be your life's course to be the one or one of the group of people who came together and created a new language, a unique language for our nation, and then our children or their children will be the ones to start to teach that language, and so that will be it, your official language. But to come out and say that the English we're speaking, just because someone stepped on your ego, someone's hurt your feelings, or you feel you've been embarrassed out there, to decide that English is not worth it and nobody should correct your grammar, tell you that you have to speak English. Come on, stop it. You and I know that what you're saying is not true. It is important. What is worth doing is worth doing well. So do try. But if you can't, you can pass the message across and say, well, at least you got what I was trying to say. My apologies for my grammar. Lege or somebody like that. The guy is funny. I don't know if he's genuinely like that. The Yoruba man who has his Instagram program. He always makes me laugh when he says, sorry for my grammar. And I just start smiling. I love it. Because even if he's joking, even if that's just his style, he actually says something like, you don't understand me. I'm not great. I don't have that pedigree. Sir?
Official. How you brother? I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, there's somebody who's sorry.
Yes, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Because we can hear you. We can hear you.
I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Oh, my God. Please add me back.
Okay, leave and come back.
Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Okay.
All right.
So speak. We can hear you.
Ogogo.
Hello, Daddy Freeze.
How you doing, brother?
Good. It's afternoon here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Go ahead. Let's hear your contribution.
I'm very interested in this topic for two reasons. Number one, I know Jokotove Bigvai is a very great guy. He's my friend. And secondly, I have a bachelor's in English, and I'm a journalist. I'm an international media practitioner. So what I'll say about this topic is, I understand the value of speaking good English because of where we're from and how we're trained, just as Daddy Freeze has clearly and brilliantly, articulated it. But sometimes we over-celebrate or we place too much value on verbal communication, speaking in English in Nigeria. We were taught in English, but we have to understand that Nigeria is a multi-class society where there are people who have other relevance in other areas, but did not have the formal education that some of us enjoyed, right? There are people who are doing positive stuff in our communities, business people, talented artists, fashion designers that didn't have the formal education that we had, but they cannot command the kind of standard that some of us command in the English language. Sometimes we use the fact that they cannot communicate that effectively in English to value them or undervalue them. A society will develop with different inputs. Not everybody will go to the four walls of the university. Not everybody will have the privilege of going, especially in Nigeria where you can't get a student loan, you can't get a grant to go to school. If your parents can't afford it, you can't go. But can you develop yourself? Can you add value? Let us not use the fact that somebody speaks good English or does not speak good English to value them or to respect them or to embrace them or to appreciate them. Because some people just can't do it. It is important that we should try to communicate in, good English everywhere we go because of the kind of community that we're from. But beyond that, we should also embrace people. Some people will not listen to you in Nigeria if you are not speaking well. When you begin to speak well, they listen to you. Even if you are lying to them, they are fascinated by it. But the other guy who has something to add, the value to us, want to also help you because he's not speaking well, you just bypass him and ignore him, and it's not important because of that. That is the area I have a problem with. I think people should be embraced, appreciated, regardless whether they can speak well or they can't speak well. And for those who can't, it is important for you to learn how to do it because the society needs you to be able to communicate effectively. Otherwise, you will have to hire people who will do that on your behalf, and they can keep you in the dark, take advantage of you and all of that. So people have signed horrible contracts because they can't read and understand.
God bless you all.
Some of our artists, they will just sign. They will not ask questions because you have to be able to understand, comprehend before you can, give the accurate feedback. So if somebody puts a contract in front of you and says, we want to sell this land, you can't ask the important questions. Or you have to hire somebody else to do it for you, and that person might not be on your side. And that's how people get duped. So don't think it's just about money. As far as you have money, that's all that is important. No, you can lose that money like that. Somebody that can speak big English and get it from you. How do people get duped through Yahoo? Because they don't have the information because they cannot comprehend basic things. Yet, I want people to still get appreciated. Not everybody will be able to speak. Some people have masters in Yoruba, they are masters in Igbo, they are masters in their local dialect, they are business people. They should be, encouraged and, drawn closer in the society because all of us make a good society and we can develop the country.
Another point that a lot of us are missing is the japa syndrome. You don't want to learn how to speak English, but you want to live abroad. Please, how do you want to do it? As in the hypocrisy. Explain to me how you want to do it.
I'll tell you something, yeah? The first job I got in America, All my friends said they will not give it to me because I have an accent. I got a job as a customer service agent with American International Group. I worked there for 4 years. That was my first job ever in America. I had no work experience here. How did I get it? I went for the interview. Once I got to the interview, the only thing that earned me that job was because, though I have an accent, but they knew that I can communicate well. I can speak well. You can lose opportunities. You will meet people and they want to listen to what you're saying. Already they know you have an accent. That's the disadvantage in a foreign, society. But they will want to see if they can understand you. They will test you. Written and verbal tests. So many Nigerians abroad get jobs, but they get kicked out of those jobs because they have the university degree, but because they can't communicate well enough to this standard, written and verbal, they lose such opportunities. So everybody must try. Even if you didn't go to school, you can learn yourself. You can learn to develop yourself. There are apps on your place or the app store that can teach you how to speak. There's Grammarly that can help you correct your English when you write. Just download it. There's several platforms, where you can learn. Even if you are going to foreign countries, there's an app. I don't remember the name of the app. When I remember, I think I'll mention it. There's an app where you can, type and somebody will speak back to you on the app. The app will teach you how to speak these foreign languages so that you don't start from the beginning when you go to when you japa, because definitely you will need it. You will need it.
Marital, I have something at this point. Oga, thank you. I'm sorry I can't see you. You've spoken well. I think DF, there are many aspects to this thing, or should I even call it stages? So I would like to think when I first came here, to the best of my knowledge, I spoke excellently well. In Nigeria, and obviously I had top grades for my English and all of that. So I knew that I was okay. But when they put me in my place here, I could not believe my life. Everyone was like, sorry, repeat, come again, da-da. And I was being told that they didn't understand the word I was saying. And I'm going somewhere with this. And I was offended. And I just thought, is this what they mean by, the big R word? Is this what they're trying to do to me? Are they deliberately trying to frustrate me? Over time, I got to understand that it's not just even the English, because we started talking about japa. That's why I want to make this little point. Do you even realize that amongst ourselves, we understand ourselves perfectly well because we all have a certain level of intonation. There's something in when we pronounce words, there's something that we all have in common, that when you speak, you're Nigerian. I know you're Nigerian and you know that I'm a Nigerian. And when you speak to that other person in, obviously, England or wherever, they'll tell you they don't understand you because you're speaking, you tell them they're speaking through their nose. They tell you you're speaking with your nose. You have a nasal. So it's your phonetics. You've got a guttural sound when you pronounce words. And so that takes you into the phonetics. So even with the so-called English, the correct grammar, because where I always got them in the university was I corrected all their spellings. And I was absolutely furious when I was told to my face that I would not be allowed to be on the editing team because English was not my first language. I couldn't take it. And by the end of the day, when I saw before we submitted, when I saw the draft, I was horrified. Now, these were all master's students, obviously natives of the country. And if you see the spelling errors, I've never seen such spelling errors in my life. I cried. I was very upset because I went to the tutor and he said, he's so sorry, it's teamwork, and we all have to be marked down. I cannot separate myself from the team. And I said, and I remember, because that was a really bad moment for me, and that's why I've not forgotten. It was a bit traumatic because I corrected and I said, guys, this is really bad presentation. We can't submit this as media students. And they were deeply offended. How dare you, this Nigerian, come and tell us how to speak the language? And when they speak, because they learned, and this is what they didn't understand, because they learned their language from their own mother's mouth Their ears picked up the right pronunciation. There are words in this country I still cannot pronounce properly because I have what my lecturer calls a mother tongue interference. So my phonetics
Mother
is
tongue
because of a
interference.
mother tongue interference. I got that even from Delsu. You can imagine my media teacher. So let me give it up to them. They taught us that. So I was told I have a mother tongue interference, and that's why I have the phonetics. I speak like a Nigerian. No matter how well my grammar is, my brother or sister, my compatriot from home, will know, babe, where are you from? You like baby Niger. You can tell because that's how I speak. But over here, they found it very offensive. They will even yell, speak louder. I couldn't enunciate clearly enough. I could speak proper English in my country. And some people used to yab me and say, I bet they found Fanel for us. I said, I don't have Fanel. I never even leave the country. But what they were referring to was my diction. I could speak properly. But when I came here, that mother tongue interference got me. And it took me a few years to be understood by people here. So that's another level for the Japa people. So don't take offense back home if people want to correct your grammar. And people that are correcting, please try and be reading the room when you're correcting somebody's grammar because you can extend them the other way. So take it easy. It's not everything you correct. So there are things like go on,
just add to what you've said. For example, those who live in the UK would agree with me because I've lived in the UK before. Those who live in the UK will agree with me that the British, there's a way they speak. Right? The way we talk and we do all these things, they don't talk like that. They only move their lips. And there's a particular tone with which you talk. When you speak normally as an African in the UK, they will tell you, why are you shouting?
Yes.
Why are you raising your voice? And in your mind, you are this is how we speak now. Bro, you are shouting to them. And you are rude. When you spend the thing you are shouting at them, they think you are rude or they find it intimidating when your voice goes up. So you have to learn all that as well. Now, talking about the part you mentioned about the linguistic interference, mother tongue interference, you're very correct about that. But you have to also understand that certain people will give you a chance to be understood, while certain people will not give you a chance.
Yeah, they won't bother. They will come to you.
When you open your mouth and speak, there are people who are kind of fascinated by your accent and they find it very attractive, very lovely, and they want to hear you. And there are some, the moment you make a statement and they see that, they hear that your accent is not the accent they're familiar with, they instantly don't want to hear you. As a customer service agent, while I was working, I experienced that a lot. Yeah. There are people who say, oh, I love your accent. And they will tell me, I understand you. But there are people who would come and say, the moment you make a statement, they wouldn't give you a chance. That is all they hear. Everything you say after that, they don't understand it. Yeah. And they will tell you, I don't understand you. That is because they don't want to understand you. That is because you are not sounding the way they are familiar with, and they are not ready to accommodate you with that. Sure. And that is why some of our people here start speaking American accents, and they are struggling, and their throat is hurting them at the end of the day, and they are, you can speak clearly. Don't disconnect yourself from where you're from. Embrace your culture. Yes, tell people I am African, but speak clearly, speak slowly, and try not to be loud, right? For those who want to hear you, they will hear you and they will understand you. Don't try to deny who you are. At the end of the day, you embarrass yourself because you can never ever speak like them. You can speak as clearly, as slowly, as confidently as possible, and then people will still listen to you and understand you, right? So, finally, I'd like to also add that the part you mentioned about people just running people down because they can speak well. I said that before. There is, feel the temperature, be nice. The person speaking might know about one or two things, might want to share an information. But in our society, when you speak and you blow a bone like this, one a bone, you are finished. That is the end, right? Accommodate people. At the end of the day, it's not our first language. We have to acquire it.
No, it's true.
We have to learn it. We went to school for it. Some of us had the privilege. Some didn't have the privilege. So accommodate those who didn't have the privilege, encourage them, and those who know that they can't speak, you need to develop yourself. There's no hiding place. Both at home and abroad, it will show. There is no way. We don't enter them already. That British colonized us. So we went to school in English, society speaking, they will use it to rate you. Forget it. They will still, with all your money, they will still use grammar to rate you.
Yeah,
they will
that's
use
why somebody was asking.
So
that's why they ask us to submit our English language test and all of that. That's why they still do it. They rate us with it. It's annoying. It's not fair, but it's the fact.
That's the fact. That's the reality.
So, hi everybody. Hello.
Hello. Remy.
Rita, how are you?
I can't see you. I just heard your voice. Hi, darling.
You're kidding. Oh dear.
I can only see myself. I can't even see DF. That's why I keep because there's no one to see. I'm just seeing myself.
Right, Daddy Freeze, can you see me?
I can see you. I can see your glasses. I can see your hair. I can see your fingernails. I can see your burgundy sweater. How are you all doing?
Thank you too, Remy. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Hello, my brother.
Yeah.
So I agree with what you both have said. But you see where that accent is, right? Here's what I want to say. I would want to take it easy on, let's say the white British, for instance, the white British people. I was like that when I first came. I thought, you know what? I'm not going to pick up any funny accents, okay? I'm just going to speak the normal way. All right? If they don't... So if they struggle with, my accent, then that's their problem. And I suffered for that.
Hey.
Because sometimes, yes, because you see, for instance, when I call Sky, they've put me on a contract before that I didn't want, just because we didn't understand each other. Because I live up north, the accent is, they have their Jodi accent that is actually very strong, and that, I know how that was for me at work. And, so imagine calling them, and then, you're trying to they're trying to put you on a contract, and then they start their Jodi accent, mixed with English. Or then you're so unlucky to talk to a Scottish.
You're from the Highlands.
And then you have a Nigerian accent. They don't understand. Do you know when it occurred to me that it is possible that they actually do struggle with your accent? It was when I met a friend who is from Zimbabwe, I think. I struggled with his accent. Meanwhile, he was just talking normally. And this is my African brother, but from a different part of Africa.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But I struggled so much. In fact, it was easier for me to understand my Jodi Newcastle people than my African
because you got used to it. You got used to it. All around you, that was what you started to hear.
And he also struggled with my own accent as well. So to make life easier for me, I had to try to talk.
How did you now manage the relationship when you guys could not understand each other?
Sorry?
When for instance, you wanted to kiss and how did you now
Daddy Freeze, oh my God. Everything doesn't have to do with relationships or pakafiki. Daddy Freeze,
you will learn now. I had to learn from my partner. Yeah, that's a good point.
Rita,
you will learn.
Thank you, Jare Rita.
Yeah.
Mama,
let me ask you a question, Rita. When you ring any customer service, have you noticed that the moment they hear your name or your accent, then they switch to this Asian accent, which is worse. You won't hear. They start talking like an Asian or like an Indian.
Thank you, because that is their understanding of an ethnic tongue.
Yes.
So just like how we sometimes, if we want to start mocking,
if you are watching on TikTok, double click the screen, You are learning ethnic tongue, mother tongue interference. You are learning. You guys are learning. Oh, I've got Remy here. I've got Natural Gambia here. I've got Don himself. Official Don Fiesta. They are all.
Hey, Daddy Freeze, my Oga.
They are
Daddy
teaching
Freeze,
you. No. TikTok.
Later. Yeah, or something.
Have you noticed that kids too? You struggle with your kids at home.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah,
it.
my little one. Yeah, my little one corrects my pronunciation. So never my grammar, but my pronunciation. She said, "No, mommy, it's." Then she would say whatever, but I say, "Madam, that's what I said." She said, "No, that's not what you
No,
said."
that's not what you
I said,
said.
"See this one. See this one."
You know what is even worse?
We can't
The
hear
whole
you.
situation.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. In America, you have to learn, relearn, and unlearn. You see what we call shaving stick in Nigeria? You say go to a shop and say, I want to buy shaving stick. They don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
You have to learn new words. Razor. You see with our moms carry the post. That is not post. That thing we call bag is actually purse.
See, eh?
You have to learn.
say
There's some new words you have to learn, and you have to speak like you can't be an island. You have to learn some things. You are forced to adjust. You know, to that. You can't just, to survive in a foreign society. Much as you want to embrace your culture, and you have to be clear. Number one, and then there are certain words you have to, like the R, emphatic R in America, work. All those kind of. You have to speak like them.
You have to.
Say what? You think I'm talking about Chinese food?
Meanwhile, if you come from the UK, you say water.
Yes.
Even apart from making life easy for yourself, you need to respect your host country. That's what some people forget. Where are our manners? We have good manners back home. You please take it with you when you go there. Respect your host country. If this is how they do it in Rome, please do it the way they do it. Be respectful. This is how they speak. In as much as you might not have their accent, you will pick it up. Don't worry, because it's all around you. That's how children learn from the mother's lips as well. So don't worry, you will pick it up. But if you get corrected, don't take offense.
No, don't.
If the person is rude, you can say, I don't like the manner in which you corrected me. However,
I have taken your correction. God bless
and
you.
then you apply
Rita.
it. Move on.
Till today, my son still struggles with my accent. There are times when I will send him on an errand, and he will just go there, and he's lost. I will come back and say, Mom, what did you say again? Sometimes I have to write it, and he'll be like, oh. And I'll be like, what do you mean? I actually, so it's hard. So
it is hard for them.
It is.
It's hard for them because that's not what they hear in the classroom. They hear it pronounced differently. They don't hear the guttural sounds. They don't hear the nasal tongues. All these things that we've got going on that helps us pronounce our words, our phonics. They don't hear it. They hear something quite different. So when they come home and mommy speaks in a certain way, they have to listen extra.
Extra to understand.
Pay a bit more of attention to you. Now, what is mommy saying now? Do you get? So,
So imagine if your kids struggle with you at home, how much more somebody who doesn't live with you, someone who has probably never left the UK.
From Adam.
You didn't get what I mean? So,
So don't even bother. When I first came, I had some really rude people that go, I don't know what she's talking about. And they'll call somebody else. And you will want to die. I'm thinking, this is my fantastic English. How dare you answer me? They don't understand what you're saying, and they've moved on, and they'll bring somebody else to attend to you.
You see, I love the conversation, and I love the direction the conversation is taking. I want to switch back to I want us to talk about Israel and his wife Sheila. And I want us to talk in the context of relationships. But before I go into that, I can see that this topic has built a bit of momentum. Let me give a big shout out to those who have bought my super chats and super stickers. Osemene Chuki sent me £5 from the UK. He said, I thought English is our first language. Honestly, why do we Nigerians pick and choose everything when it fits? I say this all the time. You have a country that imports everything. Do you know I was making some financial calculations by myself? Do you know it is cheaper to live in Nigeria now than it was 20 years ago? Or 10 years ago? It might sound stupid, but once again you bring in a foreign currency and you hedge it against, you will realize that things are actually cheaper now. Let me break it down to you.
Break down,
when I
DF.
first
Let me
moved,
understand.
I'm just trying just to show you. When I first moved into my estate, rent was about 2.5 million for my house. Dollar was 250,000. Sorry, dollar was 250 naira to $1. So 2.5 million was $10,000. What is $10,000 today? $10,000 is 11 million. At best, 9.5 million. At worst, 11 million. How much is rent in my estate? 6.5 million. You see, I love playing with numbers and I love playing with things out of context. And I sat down and I thought about it. When we're buying dollar, hold on. Work with me. But you have to, you see, this thing, you cannot understand it if you don't know maths. Our parents cannot understand it.
I understand it. I know maths.
Those our parents that they sat down with and they thought ABD.
That's fine.
They can't get it.
You earn in foreign currency.
Hold on. No. Whether you earn in foreign currency or not, whatever you earn, then calculate it in foreign and bring it back. I'll give you a little bit. I'll take it a little bit further now. Yeah.
Okay.
Petrol. During Jonathan's time, how much was petrol? Nigerians, how much was petrol during Jonathan's time? Just before Jonathan left.
I wasn't there, Steph. I wasn't even there.
Early Buhari, petrol with subsidy. Compared to petrol now, despite the importation. What happened was, I don't know how to put it, the entire system of our country has lost value. Let me tell you, I used to earn $2,000 a month. In Cool FM, radio station was paying me $2,000 a month. They were paying me 366,000 naira. I can go and look for my salary slip. In 2014, 2015, my monthly salary was 366,000 naira. I'm sure all I need to do is go to my bank and tell them to print out my salary. You see there, $300 then was like 175 naira to $1. So I was literally earning about $2,100 a month on the radio station. All of us were earning like that on the radio station. Radio gets not on Cool FM, Sha. Today, $2,100 is about 2.2 million naira. Nobody in Nigeria on a salary earns 2.2 million naira. Except maybe oil and gas people. And that time, 366,000 naira a month was a very mediocre salary. People in the banks were earning about 500k, which was easily.
They don't pay me like that.
How much if you were high up in the banks? Like, how much were you earning when you were in the bank?
Fair enough. Oh God. I don't think I think I just crossed 200 something before I left the
What
country.
year did you leave the bank?
200,000 a month.
What year did you leave the bank?
Sir?
What year did you leave the bank?
Left the bank 2009.
2009. 200,000 was about $2,000. Dollar was slightly above 100 naira. So 200,000 naira, you were earning at least $1,800 a month. Then, if you go back to that time, you realize that with that $1,800 a month, you were struggling. But if you bring $1,800 a month into this economy, you will not struggle the way you were struggling with 200,000 naira back then. Are you understanding my logic?
I understand.
Because $1,800 a month now is 1.8 million naira a month.
Daddy Freeze, that brings us to the same point you made before, that people should always invest their naira in dollars.
Now, God bless you.
dollars.
God
When
bless
come
you. But you
back
see,
after
you
years,
see, I have
get
been
you.
studying the society as a sociologist. I've been studying the society, the dynamics back and forth. And I am still going to sit down with an economist, and I would want to graphically explain this with figures properly. Because the only thing I can tell you for free is we don't control anything back here. We are controlled by the Western world. We are the puppets, they pull the strings. Consciously and unconsciously, all they need to do is do something that affects the dollar, it affects the naira, we experience it. So we cannot be independent of their language when we are not independent of them. Everything we do is a ripple effect of their financial policies and their decisions. They decide that they want to go to this place to go and fight, it will affect us. There are some countries that the Western decisions don't affect. Do you realize that Ukraine is one of the world's biggest producers of wheat, followed by Russia? Now this one, I scatter them. Ukraine, they produce the wheat where the world they chop.
Yeah.
So we have boxed ourselves into a position where we are, it's like, imagine now, I am 47 years old. Remy, how old is your mom?
She's 73.
Imagine I now hire someone of Remy's mom's age as a maid. I now call her and say, go downstairs to my fridge and bring my bottle of 7-Up. It will be illogical of her to start telling me that she's older than me when she's dependent on me. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. Logically, I'm about Remy's age. So if all things are equal, if I see Remy's mother, I should prostrate and greet her, Mommy, eka son, Abi Remy. But when the situation has become that I have employed her, not as my manager, not as my boss or my co-worker, as my maid, it will be illogical for her to now start telling me that she's older than me with age. I'm a very respectful person. There are some people that are not respectful. Your job is what? Maid. Okay, do maid work. Hey, you, go and bring him back. So we Nigerians are in the position of a 70-something-year-old who has been hired by a 30-year-old and is now telling the 30-year-old that she no saying senior am. Because everything we do is dictated by this West. Our education is Western education. There is little African input. As a matter of fact, they even remove history. What do they teach in Nigerian schools? Hold on. What do they teach in Nigerian schools that is Nigerian? What Nigerian do they teach? Our religions are Western, European religion imported. Then the whole of Nigeria wants to run away to this same abroad, and then you are telling me, listen, not listen to anybody where I say make you not speak English, you. He not like you. That Canada where you go, Baba, English test, they among waiting they go use, take rate to give you work for that Canada.
Everywhere now.
Everywhere.
UK here too now. Everything.
Even as a student.
I cannot speak good English. I cannot speak good English. Those people where they give you that advice, they don't reach somewhere for their career. It's like Daddy Free is giving you some advice. It can look very elitist. Because there are some things I cannot connect with. Do you understand what I'm telling you? When I say the price of plane ticket is 7 million naira, it's because I'm looking at the business class section.
Yeah.
So when you come and say, you went to the UK and your ticket was 850,000, I'll be looking at you like, how did you do it? Meanwhile, you fly Egypt Air economy class. So, so what am I trying to say is there are some things I can't understand. And I will be coming from a certain angle. Don't worry, I dey fly economy. I dey fly economy. I just use that as an example so you can understand the elitist mindset. But you see, there are some people who have arrived somewhere in their lives. There are some people who on a steady make 20 million a month, 30 million a month, 40 million naira a month. They can never understand life from the way you understand. They can't see it. You will try to explain it. You will go up. You will come down. You will sing song. You will play drum. They will still not get it. You will write it out on the blackboard. Spell it out to them one by one. They will not get it.
Okay.
But you see, at the end of the day, English is not my language. English is not my language. English is not my language. I can say that. Because I am Romanian. Forget this Nigeria where all of us did. My passport is red. I don't even need to talk to an immigration officer to get into the UK. I don't need, once I just get to the UK, I just use one glass. There's one glass like this. Just use your passport and touch it. The glass will open. I'm in the UK. I don't need to say I'm here for 1 week. I don't need to say I'm here for 10 days.
That's true.
It's as simple as that. For Canada, all I need is what you call a ESTA. My ESTA just expired this year. I've had this in 2009. It costs £5.
5 years.
If I want to go to Canada tomorrow, if I want to go to Canada this night, as I'm driving to the airport, I will buy my ESTA for £5. Tomorrow you will see me in Canada. It's like that. So my case is different. But you see, sometimes I think for you people, not for myself.
Yeah.
And some of these people who have already arrived somewhere are not thinking of you, they're thinking of themselves. Because if truly you want to japa, how dare you say you don't want to learn English? Wait till you want to go talk for Canada, Yoruba.
Even for embassy, wait till you go talk for
Wait
embassy.
till you go talk for embassy. God go bless you, Don. How long? God go bless you. I mean, you go born picking like Remy, your picking go, they ask you questions, no go fit answer. You go, they read dictionary, they take talk to your picking.
Oh, God.
So stop listening to all these people that are padding your ego. Let me tell you something.
It's ego. It's just ego.
Things don't spoil for una. Gone. Right now, let's even imagine that we are Nigerian traditionalists. You are worshiping Jesus. I don't want. Where will they get the person where they worship? Where will they get them from? Some people will argue with you and say King James is the only Bible. Where is it? What language was King James written? When I go to quote that nonsense where I translate, when you don't know what to translate. Over the years, we realize how erroneous the translation is. But where is it coming from? So everything you do is consequent or a consequence of them. If America woke up, if Britain blow Qatar, Nigeria go catch cold.
Yes, so
Nigeria, let me tell you, if Canada sneeze, people for worry go begin shake because their family they Canada, where they wait for the money where they come this month. If America pick tissue blow no there, Yoruba people go begin shake say I by me oh. Some people no go school.
yes.
If America people cough twice, some people for Anambra no go see food chop. So you dare not compare yourself to the Chinese that supply the whole world with everything you are using. This your iPhone.
And I've done their assignments.
This your iPhone. This Tastebud's iPhone 12 Pro Max. Where do you think it was assembled? In China. China is making money off every iPhone. Here's my own iPhone 15. China is making money off it. Fold 5. All these phones are assembled, parts are manufactured in China. There is no phone you pick that China is not collecting small change on top of them. You can never compare yourself to the Chinese. Stop padding your ego. Now tissue paper, they take pad this ego, no be better me too. So when you sit there and say, the Filipinos, can you compare yourself to the Philippines? What are we exporting? We are importing, hello, listen to me, we're importing palm oil. Are you aware? Somebody say you bought your house in naira, you are renting it out in naira. What's your business with the dollar? The fuel that you are going to use to buy those building materials to build your house, where do you get the fuel from? Just the fuel. Let's forget the car that they used to go and bring the building materials. Let's forget where they produce the building materials. Let's talk of just the fuel that you are going to use to ship the building materials from Ladipo or from Aspanda or from Trade Fair to your house. Where did they get that fuel from? Imported. It is egoistic to say the English language is not important, especially for you, we want japa. Muniru. As we go, they gather your paper, say one go embassy tomorrow. You dey form say English is not my language. One day, not make you send. Do you know that there are some people that they send back at point of entry? Are you aware? You don't meet.
Yeah, they cannot express themselves.
You cannot express yourself. You shall manage. They shall help you. You shall pass visa interview. Help you, raise ticket. Help you, gather the money. You can't reach point of entry. They just give you money. You say, hey? Oh. People wait there behind you go put hand for you say, Muniru dek pada losi badan bye. As we are talking like this, people wait there around go just get placard for their head. Muniru go back to Ibadan. Nothing wait. But from there they go begin questioning you.
I mean, a mechanic where they talks about the application saying engineer. When they reach point of entry, I'm a mechanic. Go back to
finish. That thing don't really do me before when they use Nigerian passport travel. Mulogorami. Baba, they don't refuse me visa 2 times go UK. So I can't go join body with Basket Mouth. Basket Mouth, they do events that time. Me and Basket Mouth were close back then. So I can't go join body with him. Say, Bright, I beg, make you. So he was doing a show. Nothing concerned me for the show. He shall put me inside just for visa purposes. I travel go Abuja on top this visa. They still reject me. They reject me for Lagos twice. I carry my wallet, go Abuja, they reject me. I come house again. Sad. This UK, where would they go? Shere. Finally, I appealed the decision. They shall help me. Eventually, they shall allow me to go for another basketball show. This time, they put my name for the flyer. And for the invitation letter, they said I was a DJ. They just wrote the letter saying, they say, okay, they work for radio station. They tell one Wimbo man to write letter for me. The guy write letter say, I be DJ. Now, so I reach point of entry for UK. The woman just begin to question me. Say, so what do you do for a living? I said, I'm an entertainer. I just check her body language. I just say she don't catch me. Because waiting data from that DJ. Mulo Benisha. I won't slap myself. If you say I feel take permission, say make I go toilet. I'll just go give myself like 3 slap. Waiting you write, waiting you talk.
Your nerves.
So she begin to ask questions. I don't know, say I don't enter around. She ask question, go up. She ask question, come down. She ask question, turn right. She ask question, turn left. Finally, she just throw them to me, say, but the form here says you're a DJ. I say, yeah, being an entertainer is part of a DJ. Being a DJ is part of being an entertainer. I work on a radio station, and as a radio presenter, I'm a radio DJ. I shall wangu my way.
Now TV that too.
I shall ragulam. I you know when they sit on long, come on your lower. It's like say you hold this phone. If you understand Yoruba, and I want to collect this phone from your hand, I drag down for her hand.
And you wriggled out of
I
it.
wriggled it. Omo, she just looked me. Spitefully, she just said, you say you're an entertainer. Entertain me. Now I lean towards her, me where my mama not trained. Now I lean towards her, I say, if I told you I was a boxer, will you tell me to box you? Ooh. The guy who sit down next to me, where they pretend say no, yeah, he boss laugh. Everybody boss, he was so embarrassed. That's why he just packed my document, give me. I just say thank you. I don't enter London. My heart was pounding, but I just needed that last bout of confidence. So I can just, Baba, I begin the fear point of entry. Say, If till today, if I still go UK, that my first fear of point of entry. Because I don't remember say, come on, man.
Yeah, you're right.
The European, man. You ain't got time for all these people. This last holiday where I did, that's why I call EE. Waiting I tell Remy to do for me, where Remy not do. Make I report Remy give you. My old line where they don't cancel, now I call EE. Baba. It was WAEC, English, objective. Now we do for phone. The guy go talk, I no go hear wetin he talk. I go try talk, he no go hear wetin I talk. I can't calm down. Come begin to talk one by one. Before Baba Fi understand wetin I dey talk. Luckily, I was able to get my line back. The guy was so polite. Big shout out to EE people, network people in the UK. They don't cancel the line. They brought the line back. I shall put like 50 pounds on it. I don't know. So every month I go to send one text. Make the line preserve. Man, Oluwa Lambe. So anybody wait till you say you don't need this meal broadcaster. My command of the English language, both oral and verbal, is near impeccable. However, I must say to you that my understanding of the English language has always been a plus, especially when dealing with my foreign counterparts. Well, go learn English, you. Everything we did use for your country now imported you. No go gob those people that say English is overrated, English is overrated. Ask Nigerians in Canada if English is overrated when they do English exams. Please, when you go to the Canada that you are running away from your country to, that car that you want to drive, maybe we do driving test. We do the driving test for you in Orobo.
No.
Hello. Oh, ni wako to ba de Canada, kati hello ṣiṣẹ́ fúnra rẹ̀. Oh, ni wako. Driving test.
You can't ask for direction. Everything is written in English. You can, please, can you show me? Nobody's going to listen to you.
I know. Compare to Chinko. Do you know that some of these countries you are comparing to do not need visa to go to the UK? Someone that does not need visa to come to the UK is not your mate. Oh, baby, for visa yeni. Oti bagbe. So proof of funds. Oh, my yawo travel ni olori buruku. Oh, oti bagbe. You don't forget say. Now borrow money, take travel. Canada people, now you are the talk to. They say your motor don't gum to the ground now with snow and ice. They say it go reach like 1 week before the snow thaw. No vex. Say they shoot my shop, but they tell you Canada people, you're gonna wake up.
Hey, Canada,
learn English, yo.
Hey, straight bullets.
Learn English, yo. Not let anybody lead you astray, yo. If you enjoy today, where are my super chat, super sticker, super likes? Somebody don't buy me 2 money gun, make I heal and better person. That's why I like TikTok. ABV, don't send me 2 money gun. I'm not fighting with anybody. You make no vex. So I just they tell you, say, not listen to anybody who say you don't need English. Or you where they write your plan how you want to take japa. People who don't japa for Cool FM where I work with 10 years ago, they reach like 50. Just get one and all of them go call me random and say, I beg if you put some more money for their account, they want to do proof of funds. Don't leave your ego. Yes. When Nigeria was good, let me tell you, and I say this proudly, in 2010, an oil company worker in Nigeria was making more money than a doctor in the US.
True.
Easily. When especially if you're high up in the oil company, when dollar was 170 naira and you are earning 4.5 million a month, you are earning $30,000 a month. And in a year, you are earning $360,000. Are you thinking at all? How many people in the US earn $360,000? 0.01%. If not even all doctors, you have to be maybe a cardiothoracic surgeon or a gynecologist or something. They say they take care of children, the pediatrics. The salary is like 200K, 250. And then how much were you paying in taxes? Maybe $60,000 or $50,000 out of it. So you're walking away easily with 250K at the end of the month, or 300K at the end of the month, at the end of the year, cash. That's why Americans came back home. All my friends I knew in America, they japa back home. From 2006 to about 2015, there was what I like to call the diaspora exodus. The diasporans, that time people were running away from Nigeria for security reasons. Husband, they treat you bad for marriage. Say you not get hope for Nigeria. You wrong go abroad where you go get woman rights. Nobody was jackpot in between 2006 and 2015 for financial reasons. Unless you not just see work for Nigeria. Say you see better work for Nigeria. That time, I remember when Dan Foster left Cool FM and went to Inspiration FM. His salary was 1 million naira. May he so rest in peace. 1 million naira is about $5,000 a month. Radio presenter. So the Nigerian dynamics, yes, do I believe that this should be the story forever? No. Do I believe that it is better we worked on this and we change these dynamics? Absolutely. But we cannot change it with ego. First of all, create a language. Secondly, stop letting them laugh at us. Oneness. Thirdly, build our economy. If we fail to do these three things, we'll be their boy for life.
Let's try.
Thank you very much, everybody. I want to switch topic now. I'm going to take TikTok and Facebook off, but I'll bring them back. YouTube, I'll keep you guys. Instagram, I'll keep you guys. I want to talk about Israel and Sheila, and why people should not put mouth inside married people's wahala. Starting with you, Remy, what is your take? Israel versus Sheila, because some new things are coming out, and me, I want to share my take.
I mean, like I said before, I think when a marriage breaks like this, the people involved are the ones to blame. You don't blame the extended family, you don't blame the children, you don't blame neighbors, you only have yourselves to blame. The two people involved. Do you get what I mean? So in this case, I would say, if I were Sheila, I don't think I would have married Israel. I would have done my, research, go online, look at his page, find out a lot about him. And if he's somebody I think I can cope with, then fine. So I feel that maybe she said yes. I don't want to say because of his status, because he's close to the video. I don't know, I might be wrong, but I think she should have noticed that he's I don't want to use the word lousy, but then married him and thought, okay, that she could change him. That's one huge, massive mistake that people make. You think, well, once we get married, I can then change him or change her. That's going to be really hard. Like I said before, this is a conversation that she should have had with him, when they were dating, And also, I saw something that he put up recently that she was begging for giveaway online. And there was proof. I don't know if you've seen it, DF.
Oh, I have.
She was begging for five. Yeah.
For what?
5,000. For 5,000 naira, I think. 5,000 naira giveaway. She put up her bank account details. It's dirty. It's nasty. You know, hopefully Israel will stop this, because whatever he does, this whole thing is rubbing off badly on Davido. And he's done so many things like that that's, made Davido look, kind of rubbed off negatively on Davido. He needs to stop. Everybody, people have one or two issues. No marriage is perfect. And he should just, keep it there, between them. We've had enough. It should stop there.
Who told you you've
I
heard
mean, that's
enough?
my take. Sorry?
Who told you that you have heard enough?
We have had enough. It's okay.
Yeah. DF has update too.
You have only started hearing.
Oh, sure.
Because here's what I want to tell you, yeah. I don't blame any of them.
Oh.
I don't blame any of them. As a matter of fact, it's hard to put your mouth inside people's marriage matter, because tomorrow they can reconcile and they will use you as bone of contention.
Then they shouldn't put it on social media if they don't want us to
In a
put our
social
mouths.
media world, you cannot dictate what people put on or not put on social media. It is going to be very hard. We cannot use our parents' style of morality to live in 2023. We live in a world where the morality is different from what our parents understood morality to be. And in a world of social media, it is very hypocritical. I'm not saying you're a hypocrite, don't get me wrong. Of us to judge someone because they came out on social media, and what we will say is, those days when there was no social media, those days when there was no aeroplane, no be boat na the enter go London. As aeroplane don't day now, if you talk say aeroplane no day again. We cannot accept things hypocritically. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. So telling them that they should not come to social media, yes, we just need to understand social debt and the fact that it is also going to make its demands on you eventually. Social media can be a very toxic place, and if you choose to bring your matter there, you will see anyhow people will no reach your trouser will begin to drag you. Now, so social media be. It's the toxicity therein. And nothing where anybody feel do about them. Now, so it be. Now, very nonsense place. But if you understand me well, you would also realize that with social media, we have received many gifts that we could not have received if there was no social media. So it is a double-edged sword indeed. How do you make the best of it? If you are watching on TikTok, double click the screen. Pop my money guns. Follow my number one gifter. Let me mention who my number one gifter is right now on TikTok. Sorry guys, make I sell my TikTok markets more. Bra Don. That's my number one gifter. Follow my number one gifter right about now. Pop my money guns. Pop my money guns. It don't take since I rate on top of this TikTok. Oh yeah. Double click the screen. Double click the screen. Let me quickly
People
get
love to
5,000
gossip.
likes.
The
right
more
now.
you put your business out there, the more people will talk, and they will even add more fire to it. Because there was a lady that came up to defend Israel. Before you do it now, one of Sheila's friends or family member will not come out and say something, and then they would add more fire, and then it will just explode.
It's the nature of the beast. That's how it comes. Once you enter, you don't have any control over it.
What I think my opinion is about the whole thing is, first of all, we can't disconnect the whole drama from social media, because Israel became popular because of its affiliation with Davido, and because of social media as well. The wedding was highly celebrated on the social media. So if they had a kid together, social media would be the platform. And if it's going down the drain, social media automatically would be the platform, because it's always been from day one. Now, but talking about the relationship itself, we all were not there. We didn't know how they met, what were the factors that brought them together, or what caused the split. We're only hearing different versions of the story. However, what I think I would like to say about this in particular is that women should try to understand that marriage is beyond the ceremony. It's beyond the glitz and glamour. It's beyond having the day and having a beautiful dress and being celebrated, getting gifts and all that comes with it. There's a heat. There's a strong heat.
Why women? Why not?
Okay, I'm coming to that. Women, because the women, believe it or not, they are the ones that make the home.
No.
Women,
no, I disagree.
Women,
that's
I totally disagree.
Let me what you said. That's different. I'm talking about
when I say make the home, the custodian of the home, the man is the provider, right? But the person that keeps the home together is the woman.
I disagree. I disagree. You see, let me just quickly say something. When a man says, you know what, this marriage is over. When a man decides and says that this marriage is over, then it is absolutely over.
No, I'm not talking about in a case where the home is broken down. No, I'm just saying generally. So
it takes two people to tango. Let's not just put it on the woman alone. It's not just if the man wants to have a happy home, the man has to contribute a whole lot, and it's not just financially. He has to contribute too in the marriage.
Of course, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is that when it comes to the home, okay, I'll give you an example. If you are trying to get a home after getting married, like where you want to live, a man cannot make a decision, oh, this is where we're going to live. The woman has to be comfortable with the kitchen, the location, consider factors, whatever the woman says, because the woman actually is the one that is the custodian of the home. I'm not saying it's only the woman's job, but what I'm saying is
can I just
that is our domain. That is the woman's domain. That's my point.
So, that one, what you're saying is okay, but you're not answering my question. What's
the question?
You had an opening statement, which I'm struggling to connect to what you're now saying. What you're now saying is a popular view. So this is a populist statement, and I actually agree with that. Nothing wrong with what you're saying now. But what began it, sir? What began that was you had an opening shot. You said women need to understand that the wedding is not, there's life after that. It's not just about the
yes.
Now, I only ask you why women. So why are you not talking about both parties? Husband and wife need to understand that life then begins after that. So, and then you not say what you want to say.
I am just being realistic about people. Men and women have different excitement when it comes to getting married, right? Mm-hmm. We have different levels of excitement. And you would agree with me, believe it or not, women are more excited
than men.
Getting married than men.
That's stereotypical, though.
That's the truth. So my point is,
he's right.
You have to understand the nature of the man you are excited to get married to. His challenges, his realities. This is not just about Israel and Sheila. It's just general. There have been cases in this year alone. We don't know how many marriages are broken down. It's just the ones that we see, and there are some marriages that are being patched. It's already broken down, but nobody's seeing it. The truth is, the realities that women especially don't come to terms with. For example, you're dating a celebrity that travels a lot. Are you ready for that? That's my point. Because you cannot change that person's job. You cannot change that person's lifestyle. You have to be real with yourself and be prepared to face that reality with that person. That doesn't mean that the man should not recognize the fact that he is now married and make some adjustments. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is because women have to be prepared. Don't get into it and say, I don't like the way he travels. You knew he travels, for example. So in this case, I feel that the wedding is too early, is too young, and I'm not happy the fact that they're coming to social media to, showcase themselves in this light. Everybody likes Israel. I like him personally because of his loyalty to Davido. The fact that he's so loyal And if you don't appreciate him, you know it from that perspective. Now, talking about the lady, I don't know much about her, but I know there must have been something that connected both of them together. And there are some loose bolts that are now coming up based on the fact that maybe they were not prepared enough for those rocky challenges. And they always would come in every marital situation. People should just get ready and prepared for the heat when it comes. It's going to come. So my perspective is that I don't have the details. When it comes to, a situation like this, the man will not say too many nice things about the woman, and the woman will not say too many nice things about the man. But whatever it is important for people to come to their own realities before they experience the heat after they get married. So whatever it is. I don't want to say what is right or what is wrong. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I know there's a heat from both the man's part and the woman's part. And I feel like maybe they were not prepared enough for it.
No one is actually ever fully prepared for marriage. And that's why when two people here we're married, that's it. They need to keep working on it. Do you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They need to keep working on it because there will be issues that will come up in the marriage, like the loss of a child, for instance, that they did not plan for or they did not prepare themselves for. Miscarriages, if they lose their job, stuff like that. But when situations like this arises, you don't have the full story.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be hard to, judge 100% and say, this is what happened. Because then you may be wrong in your judgment or your opinion because you don't have 100%, you don't have the full story. Do you get what I mean? So, but I just feel that Israel, yes, he's, I'll call him anyhow person. So he can get away with being anyhow online. But for Sheila, on the other hand, I feel she should find a way to, end things peacefully. That they cannot be married doesn't mean that they have to be enemies. Do you get what I mean? And then say all sorts. If I were her, I would just, go behind the scenes and have it up with him, apologize where necessary, make amends, and just let it go for my own sake.
But Israel is coming from a perspective that he's being used. It's coming from that perspective that is being used. Why don't we assume that? Let's just assume that is true. All that is said, let's assume, please, mark my words. In case
but he wanted a virgin too. So
it's transactional, give and take, right? Is that what you're saying?
Abi.
So anyway, there's always interest in everything. Every relationship, let's not deceive ourselves. There is always interest. There's always something that you are in it for. Take it or leave it, on whatever ground. You are in it. You can say it's love, I just love him. There is something. A girl that meets a guy who is the son of a politician is going to be more tempted, or who is rich, or who is famous, is going to be more tempted than she will be with the regular guy who's looking for a job. Let's call it what it is. There's always an interest point. Somebody who's always desired to be famous is being approached by a guy who's already famous and knows that, okay, when we get married, people are going to know me, I'm going to have 1 million followers. It's more likely to overlook other shortcomings here and there and focus on the lifetime dreams and say, well, if I get it there, I don't like him anymore, I will end it. Regular people do that every day. I know more than 4 people right now in America who went to Nigeria to marry quiet, gentle, God-fearing, from good family wives. Right now, they are in trouble for that. I know at least 4. Seriously, 4.
The DF topic with this.
4. That, I want to marry someone that's from a good home, that can cook. Now, the people they watch play, they cook themselves now. So there is always interest. Somebody is in it for something, especially in this age and time. That is the truth. It doesn't sound nice, but It is true.
It's true. People don't build connections anymore. They don't have that time.
A transactional relationship again.
Yeah.
That is what is really supreme. Let's call it what it is. So if he says that, oh, he used me for this, I don't want to mention other, there's an actress, like Nigerian actor, I don't say Yoruba or whatever, Nigerian actress, got married to another guy. They had kids together, and everybody came out to feel like, okay, she wanted this. It was just a SPER donor. And once she achieved that, she felt that she has achieved all that she wanted. And things started waxing cold. And together, now they are no longer together. Everybody considers that as a transactional relationship because somebody is in it for one reason. And the other person is also looking at the bigger picture. Look around you these days. That's exactly what happens.
To be honest, Remy, I was hoping at some point we'll come on live and talk about this thing. How many of us actually marry for love?
But I married for love.
No, we're not. Well, there will be examples to show you now. But like the more of it's almost a rhetorical question because even in our grandparents' time, they talked about arranged marriage.
Yeah.
No, during our grandparents' time, it was never love.
They talked about arranged marriage.
It was arranged,
so even father
and if there was ever love, it grew. If you're watching on TikTok, double-click the screen. Double-click the screen. Pop my money gone. My first marriage. My first marriage was pressure. She was pregnant. Societal pressure. It wasn't love. The second one, definitely love. And definitely more of finding a partner that works with me and understands me and is ready to deal with my BS. Because trust me, it's plenty. You understand. But it takes love to be able to cross certain hurdles. When there is no love and there is a test on the marriage, you can't survive a test. There are some tests that not only love will hold you together.
Yeah.
Only love can hold you through that test. Say, I love this person. If not for that love, small tests like this, when I go run for cover. You understand? When I go run for cover. And what women need to understand is that love does not mean stupidity. I'll tell you a story. Where I was living formerly, my neighbor was a politician. Armed robbers came to his house and he ran and hid in the ceiling while his wife went to face the armed robbers.
Oh my gosh.
What is your take? Answer. What is
instincts, survival instincts.
Is stronger now. They said the instincts for life is stronger than instincts for there's no instincts for relationship.
You leave your wife and kids and go hide for a roof when everybody come.
Leave that thing, survival for life.
Survival instincts will make you do foolish things.
It's a strong instinct. Why do they tell you on the plane to sort yourself out before you sort out the baby? In survival, it kicked in, I beg. To a large extent, yes, obviously, I know what you mean. Obviously, love. If you love the wife, you will do like this. But
sometimes you said a real man and more. Very good. People are exposing themselves.
Instincts.
Well done.
Some people actually run away and they run back when their brain comes back. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
Where there's a boom. The mother takes off, leaving the baby, and the brain will
my child.
She will die back, pick the baby, and then run off. It's survival
instincts, yes.
That's true. Another thing is that usually the man is going to be the target first. That's the man of the house they are looking for. Like, where's the one? The village is the one that has the money. Or they probably want to buy him or something. So for that reason,
let me know. You see, love,
I probably will come back when
love and emotions. Love and emotion says the man should stand up and face them. Sense, he's a politician. What if they are not armed robbers? What if they're assassins?
Exactly. My point.
You understand?
That's what he just said.
What I'm saying?
Yeah, they are probably to him.
A lot of people disagree with the man I agreed with him. I was like, look, they were saying he doesn't love his wife. Why would he push his wife forward? There was one woman that was telling her husband, said, no, don't ever do this to me. I was like, look, don't listen to this woman. If they kill you, she'll remarry you. She'll cry for 1 year. After that,
Yes.
she will remarry.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm telling you? Always make sure that you make decisions with your head, not with your heart. Influenced by your heart, but your head is clear. Most women cannot make decisions with their head. Their heart must be involved. And then they complicate the situation that did not need to be complicated. That is why logic over feelings. Taste buds is extremely emotional and I'm extremely cold. A friend of mine was telling us their story about their dad who was about 85 and had lost both kidneys, and they're in Ibadan. So they've been selling properties one by one. They can't reach the final house. They won't sell the property. Say me they used to take care of Baba. They can't tell me, say, first thing I asked them, una they mad? Baba of 85. If you sell the property, how long will you be able to keep him on dialysis for? Maybe another 2 years. After that, what happens? If na me be Papa, I no go allow you sell the house. Take care of me at 85 when I have no kidney. Taste buds start crying. Oh no, it's their father. No, is it Papa? You can't be illogical when it comes to reasoning. Papa don't they go? He's not 40. He's not even 50. He's 85. In today's Nigeria. Do you understand what I'm saying? So these same emotions apply to marriage. When you go into a marriage, many people start to think emotionally. You marry Israel and you expect Israel to change. I had that problem with my ex. As you see me like this, I have more shorts than suits. Because left to me alone, suit where I wear yesterday. Now because designer come beg me say make I wear a suit new. Normal me, I know they like suits. Nothing makes me wake up in the morning and decide that it's suit I want to wear. For what? When I was working in Cool FM, this is how I used to dress to work. People thought I was mad. My bosses used to use style to frown about it, but me, as long as I was delivering on my numbers, I look away. I like wearing bathroom slippers. I like being comfortable. But you see, when we first started dating in the university, it was fine. I was a local radio presenter, local boy on the radio. It was okay. But you see, by the time we got married, most of our friends who used to dress like me and think like me and have fun like me had now started working in banks. Many of them had got their masters. My ex used style to raise the topic of masters. I did not understand how masters would be useful for me in my life. Till today, I don't. What do I need it for? Do you understand? It is a loss of money for me. I don't do the kind of business that I need masters for. I'm not looking for employment. You understand? But you see, by the time we had done 5 years in marriage, all our mates were either managers in one company or the other. I'm not saying they were necessarily making more money than I was, but they were not hopping around, wearing face cap, waking up at 10 o'clock in the morning to cross over to the radio station and go and talk nonsense like I'm talking now on social media for 3 hours and come back home. Their life don't get definition. They don't wake up for morning. They don't go buy land from away or one or two small places. Those that had rich parents or that did Yahoo or that sold their market to senators as women, those ones were able to buy property in Lekki. But my mates were not thief. Now Mowe Surulere, they begin they build their houses small. For me, and I believe say if I not build house for where I like, I not go build. So I did not have property, I did not even have land as of that time. She looked at me as immature, but that was me. And then many times she tried to change me, and there were things she used to say subtly, like she's looking when I'm 3 years older than she was. So in uni, I was in year 3 when she was in year 1. In fact, I should have been in year 4 when she was in year 1. So I was older than her. You know, when you enter uni, in secondary school, you normally date your mates. Or maybe somebody 1 year above you. I was 3 years her senior. So I was her senior. So she looked up to me. But you see, by the time I lost 1 year, and then lost another year in uni, and then she gained 1 year because she entered early, we became mates. But because she knew that the mates that we are mates is not that we are of the same age, you understand, there was still that small respect. By the time we got into the real world, I was no longer that father figure that she could look up to. I had now come not only to her level, but below her socially.
Lots of respect.
Do you understand? Socially. There were many things that my ex used to say. There was one time she said something that I should gather everybody, and since I'm a veteran in the industry, I should gather people and have a come together of radio presenters, something I can start and nourish. First of all, I didn't used to think of myself as a radio presenter. I used to think of myself as out of radio. I was on the radio. I loved the radio, but I did not just I hated being called an OAP. I was thinking more of myself as an entertainer, an MC, something out of just that radio, gathering radio presenters together. You understand? I didn't see the sense. She didn't understand me. Why am I gathering people together? I had no such need to gather anybody. To gather people for me is hard work. Well, today I can gather people together for church. We had a good turn. You were there. Both of you were there. Rita and Remy. And I know I personally have to call you people and invite you and put pressure on your necks that you must be there. But normal me, that's not me. I don't know. I can teach, I can talk, I can MC, I can have fun. I'm life of the party. In the middle of the party, I ran a nightclub at a point in my life. But that maturity, you can't get it from me, and I will not bend. I will not because of you go and do masters. I will not because of you go and do PhD. I will not because of you go and get a job so that I could wear tie and then look fresh in a tie. So I started noticing that the attraction left. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not there are many things I blame her for. This is not one of them. This is the incompatibility that ensued from an early marriage. We were young. I had not seen, by the time I was 35, I had seen different things in life. I married her when I was 25. I did not understand anything. My mind was Ibadan mind, warped. I used to think that if a woman is 40 and she doesn't have a husband, she's useless. And I used to say it on the radio with confidence. Do you understand? That was how my mind was formed. And the way I treated her was a consequence of that mind formation and how mine too was formed. So at the end of the day, we treated each other bad, and I know she would like to say, I don't want to go into who was, we're both bad for ourselves, we're toxic. You understand? We were toxic. I know a toxic relationship. I can be very toxic, don't get me wrong. I can be the king of toxic. Give me small toxicity, I multiply it for you. I'm not okay. And sometimes by default, I can be toxic. But when I'm toxic with a non-toxic person, the non-toxic person diffuses the toxicity. Taste buds is not toxic at all. She has her own issues, but she's not toxic. I can be toxic. My ex was toxic like me, if not worse than me. So there was nobody to diffuse the situation. It was always toxicity. And I think, sorry, if you were raised in Ibadan, you have a level of toxicity that you need. If you grew up in Yoruba land, core Yoruba land, as a woman, especially Ibadan, there is a level of toxicity that is infused into you by your environment. I don't know if you, I know that from Ibadan people. There are some people, no, by Ibadan, I don't mean you grew up in Bodija where you are sheltered. A sheltered Ibadan babe is as good as a sheltered Anambra babe or a Kano babe. When you are sheltered, you are protected. But you see, when you grow up for Igboro, you will be toxic. Because to survive Igboro na toxicity. Hey. So it was toxic, rubbing off toxic. Nothing to diffuse it. It was always friction. There was no oil. There was no lubricant. It was just fire, friction, sparking. So I get this. I'm coming. I'm going to hand over to you. So when I see this Israel story, I understand that when a woman is very young and hasn't seen life, that's why me now, I don't think I'm non-toxic enough to marry a virgin. I need to marry now person wey no dey toxic, like a sheltered guy of my age can marry a sheltered virgin, and the two of them will be able. But you see, once you dey toxic, you go dey one kind. Do you understand? So sometimes you need to be with a woman who has some experience, a woman wey don see bad marriage before. Now they appreciate good one. Yoruba people dey talk say, obìnrin tí ó bá tọ́lé ọkọ méjì wò kò lè mọ ètò dà. Say woman wey no go two husband house, no go know which one better. You go dey your first husband house, you say, this husband no good. You know what? Now when you try another one, you go first realize, this my husband is actually maybe even better than where I'm running to. Or when you think your husband is very good and you go outside and you see a better husband, that's when you realize that. You understand? So you don't really understand until you've actually been there. I have always, if at my age I want to marry, I know if you marry single girl. And if I go marry single girl, I go marry like 38. We don't see life. I know if you go carry 21. They go run you mad. You go run fever. Not that there's anything wrong with the girl, but you will not be able to cope with their mindset. The way they think is totally different. It's like when I talk to my 21-year-old daughter, I dey freak out. They don't, the way they think is almost an abomination. So sometimes when my daughter brings her friends home, I go to look there and say, to say I be useless papa. Now this kind of girls I go to chase for Unilag. Because people my age that go to Unilag to pick babes, what age do you think you are going to pick? You're going to pick 19, 20, 21. As I did like this, if I won't carry babe, if you never 30, I'm sorry, I can't. Unless you come with a platter. As in you are going to dash me like 20 million naira, and then you are going to take care of me. That's the only thing that can make me even consider doing anything with you, let alone dating you long, under 30. You won't make your brain burst. Then the mentality, I need somebody that is closer to me in mentality. Gen Z go man house, believe say we are friends. It happened to somebody that I know. She went to a man's house. Man carry and go club, chop, they carry and go house. Come begin, they touch him anyhow. She can't begin vex, carry the story, come meet me. My first question is, why did you go to his house? For me, a woman going to a man's house is a non-verbal indication that she wants something. Why would you go to somebody's house? I wouldn't go to Remi's house, for instance. If I want to see Remi, I'll give her a lunch date at a restaurant or a mall or somewhere. Which one is go to house? From house, anything, anywhere you fit turn, enter. But that's the way I think. Everybody was like, Daddy Freeze, no, a woman can go to a man's house. The man has to know how to behave himself. I'm saying, I don't understand people. I will not allow my wife cannot call me and tell me she's in her male friend's house. Babala Jani, the Baba quarrel. How? Waiting make you think, say, if you go in house. So with my kind of mentality, and there's no way you want to explain it to me. It's not, some women will say, hey, you are, what is it called? There's a word they use, you are not confident. There's a way they say it. You're not confident in yourself. No. It's not about, it's boundary. What are you doing? Say we went to school together. If you like, we can go mosque together. Anything we like, we do together. I don't want to hear say you did man house. Waiting they find go man house. Now nonsense to me. I don't go take him. My wife's male friend cannot come and take her to have drinks. If my wife's male friend comes to the house, I'm there. You have male drinks in the house, no problem. But that you come and carry my wife with car and take her, you go and have drinks, and then you bring her back 3 hours later. I cannot deal. But Gen Z go tell you, say, so life be. In this Gen Z, they have what you call situationships. It's not a relationship, it's a situationship. They will use definition to define it. And it makes sense to them. I'm sorry, it does not make sense to me. So those of you that are looking for young, I remember when my first marriage collapsed, my father said I should look for a young girl. Somebody young. I no answer my papa. Because the young girls that was seen around me, their head no correct, no way hello. Taste buds is 2 years younger than me. She's more in my demography. She knows Chuck Norris. I was sharing my neighbor, Chris, is like 10 years younger than me. I was sharing Chuck Norris jokes with him. He did not understand. Many of you here don't know Chuck. They say, look, I give you the joke. You know, Chuck Norris was that action hero that year when we were growing up.
Yeah, Texas Ranger.
As in, baddest guy ever lived. They say when Chuck Norris' parents have nightmares, they go to sleep in his bed. You never hear those Chuck Norris jokes. Oh, as in very. But if you don't know Chuck Norris and you don't know his impact that year, you don't fit understand. But you see, so that's why I needed somebody closer to me. The first thing I would say is Israel definitely needed a more mature woman.
You've taken my points, DF. That's the point I was going to make. So well
my
done.
battery is about to buy. So you have just 30 seconds each. Let's round off. We'll come back.
No,
listen in action.
You've taken my points.
Chuck Norris. As if you make I go send you some. Do you know Chuck Norris, Remy?
I do. That guy that wears this biker boots, has blonde hair.
As in, if you never watch Chuck Norris movie, you know Fion. But Chuck Norris, people that were born 10 years after us, no go know Chuck Norris.
That is, you know, Chuck Norris actually acted with Bruce Lee.
Yes, now.
When they moved it together, I watched it.
Some people have never heard of the name Bruce Lee before. Texas Rangers. As in, some people never hear
Texas
Bruce
Rangers,
Lee before.
Yeah, I didn't like those kind. My dad used to watch that a lot. I didn't like it.
Here, bish, bah, bah. If you are watching on TikTok, double click the screen. We're coming back later on tonight at say 1 o'clock. We're coming back at 1 o'clock. Please join us. More. We're going to continue on this particular topic. How to learn from this couple and create the perfect union. Remy, I want you on it, so stay awake.
At 1 a.m. DF.
What's my business? I said stay awake. You want me to haunt you like ghosts inside your house?
Dear, please make sure you repeat the last point that you made, because I think that's the lesson. Hopefully, some people will take
a more mature
their
woman.
story.
When you marry a
That part that
20-year-old, just know say now your pikin you marry. You go treat them like pikin. Now the problem is because no be you born am, you know if you beat them like pikin. So it's a very complicated situation. You know, when you are with your child, you have to be more gentle. But then you also have to be firm. But when you are with pikin, when no be you born, you have to be gentle, but you cannot be firm. So it makes the relationship very complicated because children will offend you. A 21-year-old will jump fence and attend the party. A 30-year-old will not. So you're going to have to deal with that madness without being able to exert the force you will do to the pikin where you born. You jump fence. Now, for that fence, now your papa go dey wait for you. As you jump and back like this, slap straight, bola. Where are you coming from? You go begin to shake, they explain yourself. But you can't do that to your wife. So, I do believe in women staying celibate. But this particular world does not help women who do not have at least a little bit of experience inside that regard.
In fact, how old is Israel? How old is he?
I don't know. I'll find out.
Let
Let me just chip this in. No woman wants to be that. It's only you that she will sleep with all her life. No woman wants that kind of thing. She will cheat on you. Eventually.
No, Nadia, don't say that.
I will tell you that for free. It will get to a point, especially, you see, no, we go talk this thing for midnight. You see, let me tell you one thing, I'm afraid this phone will soon die. Let me tell you one thing, women, especially if they're in certain social circles, there are some conversations they have with their friends that will make them want to go and try something new. All of you are talking like this because when I don't sample, you can't enter marriage, you can't realize, okay, this is where I'm staying. You will never sample anywhere before. When you enter marriage as V, you go cheat. You sure, 90% you go cheat. Because it will get to a stage, you will yearn for something else. All of you will be listening.
Let me sound like grandparents cheat. Is that what you're saying?
Well. Now DNA we no day. Listen, DNA we no day. Now I no let our mama shame and our grandmama. Forget all these things. You are defending who? People that used to know how to sneak.
That difference. They called a friend of mine. We went to a university together in Nigeria. He was working somewhere, I don't mention the state. His colleague, junior colleague, went to get married in Lagos. She was a V. So the husband was in Lagos, but they're planning to relocate to Lagos. But she was still working in that other state. Bro, I won't lie to you, sir. At the end of the day, because of conversations, going to have drinks after work, where they married V. One thing led to the other. Now she used mouth. Ask the guy, make it do it.
Thank you. I rest my case. My phone is about to die. We're back at midnight. God bless you all.